We think we know what the ocean's top predator looks like. Rows of serrated teeth, a torpedo-shaped body, cold black eyes scanning the water. The great white shark has held that title in our imagination for decades. But 500 meters beneath the ice shelf of Antarctica, in water so cold it sits just above freezing, something far stranger is hunting. And if you saw it up close, you'd swear it crawled straight out of science fiction. Meet Eulogisca gigantea, the Antarctic scale worm. It's about 20 centimeters long, roughly the size of a squirrel. Its body is flat and segmented, covered in 15 pairs of overlapping plates called elytra that shimmer with an iridescent golden sheen. Hundreds of bristles extend from each side like some kind of deep-sea bottle brush dipped in gold paint. From a distance, you might almost call it beautiful. Then it opens its mouth. What looks like the worm's head is actually a retractable proboscis, a tube-shaped feeding organ that the animal keeps folded inside its body when it isn't eating. When prey gets close enough, the worm turns its own throat inside out, launching a pair of sharp, chitinous jaws straight at the target. Scientists who first photographed this feeding mechanism compared it to the inner jaw of the xenomorph from the movie Alien. Except this thing is real, and it's been doing this for millions of years, in total darkness under the ice. The scales covering its body look unsettlingly like rows of tiny human teeth. The jaws are designed to grip and tear. And because so few specimens have ever been collected alive, researchers still aren't entirely sure what it eats. What they do know is that its anatomy is built for predation. Every feature, from the armored plates to the ambush-style jaw deployment, points to an animal that is ruthlessly efficient at catching whatever shares the seafloor with it. But the scale worm isn't even the most unnerving predator down there. Parborlasia corrugatus, the Antarctic ribbon worm, makes the scale worm look small. This flat, smooth, almost featureless creature grows up to 2 meters long, with some researchers documenting specimens approaching 3 meters. That's taller than most adult humans, stretched out across the Antarctic ocean floor like a living ribbon of pale flesh. It hunts using a completely different weapon. Inside its wedge-shaped head sits a fluid-filled cavity that houses a barbed, adhesive proboscis. When the ribbon worm detects prey, it fires this proboscis outward, latching onto the target with a sticky secretion before reeling it in. It feeds on almost anything it can catch or scavenge. Starfish, sponges, anemones, other worms, fish, even seal meat that drifts down from the surface. And here's the part that really sets it apart. The ribbon worm produces toxic peptides in its skin mucus, a chemical cocktail so effective that nothing in its environment wants to eat it. Despite living completely exposed on the open sea floor with no shell, no burrow, and no camouflage to speak of, Parborlasia corrugatus has essentially 0 natural predators. It just crawls around in the open because nothing dares to bite it. Scientists call this phenomenon polar gigantism. In the freezing, oxygen-rich waters around Antarctica, animals tend to grow far larger than their relatives in warmer oceans. Sea spiders the size of dinner plates. Colossal squid weighing half a ton. Barrel sponges 2 meters tall. The cold slows their metabolism, the oxygen-saturated water fuels their cells more efficiently, and the result is creatures that grow to sizes that would be impossible almost anywhere else on Earth. The Antarctic sea floor is essentially a factory for building oversized predators. And we've barely explored it. Most of what we know about these worms comes from a handful of museum specimens and a few deep-sea expeditions that barely scratched the surface. So the next time someone asks you what the scariest predator in the ocean is, forget the great white. Forget the orca. The real apex hunters are the ones we almost never see, living beneath a mile of ice in permanent darkness, armed with weapons that evolution spent millions of years perfecting. If you want to see what else is hiding in the deepest parts of the ocean, that video is on screen now. Subscribe so you don't miss it.